Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone. So our topic for today is object constraint language or the OCL. So OCL is a declarative language, na? Uh, wait, I will accept the Okay. So it describe rules applying to unified modeling language models developed, of course, at IBM, and it's now part of the UML standard. So initially, the object constraint language was merely a formal specification language extension of the unified modeling language. Now, OCL may now be used with the meta object facility, object management group, meta model, including UML. So the object constraint language is precise text language that manage constraint and object query expression of any MOF model or meta model that cannot otherwise be expressed by diagrammatic notation. So OCL is a key component of the new OMG or the object management group standard recommendation for transforming models. So the queries, views, transformation, or the QBT specification. Again, OCL is a descendant of Syntropy, a second-generation object-oriented analysis in design method. Okay, to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our first presenter for this morning. Go ahead, madam.
Ayan, thank you so much, sir. And good morning, everyone. So, as mentioned by sir, I'll be discussing OCL or Object Constraint Language. So, just to give you, next slide, please. Thank you. Yan. So, just to give you an overview, so today we're going to discuss the W's and H of OCL. Of course, what is OCL, which was already mentioned by sir. Why use OCL? When can we use OCL? And how to use OCL. So for this presentation, I'll be using a bunch of examples to demonstrate the use of OCL. So next slide. Yeah. So I have there, if you can see on the screen, is a photo. So can you describe what you can see? You can just unmute na lang. So yan. Who wants to describe what you see on the photo? Anyone?
A man with a headset.
Okay, a man with a headset. Okay. Aside from that, any other descriptions? Thank you.
Maybe
Satisfaction.
Sorry?
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. Okay. Last one.
listening to or I think that's a headphone, right? Maybe
Mm-mm.
he's listening to some music.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, if we're going to rely on the visual part, so all we can see is that a man smiling wearing a headphone. But by just looking at it, we cannot tell if the man is really satisfied, though he might be, or if the man is really listening to music, or we can't really tell based on by just looking at the photo. So that's the importance of having a descriptive language or a description. So that is one of the importance of actually of um, OCL, because natural language is so ambiguous, or it can be um, interpreted in several ways, and also visuals can also be without words can also be interpreted in um, different ways. That's why OCL is important. Is an important add-on of UML. Next slide, please. Thank you. Ayan. So, what is OCL? So, OCL is a type of modeling language. So, it's an add-on of UML or Unified Modeling Language. So, as I've mentioned, visuals alone cannot express the full capacity or the full specification of a system. Um, Also, OCL is reliant to classes and interfaces. So, OCL is often used for class diagrams. So we've also tackled that. It was also tackled by the previous presenter. Um, Class diagram is also one of the types of UML. So yeah, next slide. Okay, thank you. So here are some characteristics of OCL. So first, it's both query and constraint language. So OCL, C stands for constraint. So we're going to deal with more constraints in the following, in the succeeding examples. But OCL uses query language or some of the expressions we use while in creating databases or in creating if statements, for example, in Java or in C++. Also, it's a mathematical foundation, but no mathematical symbols. So OCL uses is based on a mathematical theory. So yeah, that's it. And it's strongly typed and it's declarative language. So also mentioned by Sir. And what do we mean also by declarative language? OCL also has no side effects. So it's like just a comment in a UML or like a notation. It doesn't change the state of the class or the object. Okay, next slide. So OCL uses types and operations just like programming languages, but it's not quite a programming languages. So we use real and operations such as equality, the equal sign, yung arithmetic operations natin, yung plus, minus, and so on. Yung comparative natin, yung greater than, less than, and so on, and other types of operations. So next slide. Ayan. So here are other types. Real, integers, and strings. And we also use booleans, which has the values of true and false. Okay. So we also deal with collection types in OCL. So collection is basically a group of objects. So we have sets, bags, sequence, and um, ordered sets. So we'll discuss that further later. Next. So why use OCL? So first, OCL eliminates ambiguity. I've also mentioned this before. And OCL can be understood by more people in the company. So actually, sir, I've heard sir mention this in the last meeting when he concluded the last presenter of the previous section. Um, it's not just software developers that is working in a system. So we have technical writers, analysts. We also have the boss who has to know the details about our software. But it's not imperative for them to know the whole system itself. They just have a specific concern. For example, technical writer is will focus on the behavior or how the system works, while the software developer will is just concerned with the development side of the project. So more people can understand how the system works if we'll put OCL with UML. Next. Okay, so here is an example of a class diagram. So what do you see in the diagram? So we have three classes here. We have flight, airplane, and person. So what you can see here, what this diagram implies is for every um, flight or zero to many, so asterisk is a multiplicity, zero to many flights could have zero to many passengers. But a plane also has or the flight or the passenger seats is also related to the number of um, passengers. So, ang in-imply kasi nito, ibig sabihin, kung titingnan lang natin yung diagram, so a flight can have an unlimited number of people or unlimited number of passengers, which could complicate things kasi in reality, limited lang naman talaga yung number of seats in a plane, 'di ba? So, yun yung hindi nabibigay ng UML or this diagram alone. Next slide. Okay, so this is an example of OCL. So, the word context, binibigay lang niya, ibig sabihin, nasa class tayo ng flight, and then INV stands for invariant, or it's the type of condition that must be always true for the system to, or for the task to be executed. So here, we have the passenger's size. Makakalculate niya yung passenger size, and it should be less than or equal to the number of seats. So, 'di ba, nagkaroon tayo ng context ngayon, mas nagkaroon siya ng malinaw na constraint kung kailan lang magra-run yung specific system na yon. So, yun yung isa sa importance na binibigay ng OCL. Next. So, this is another diagram. So, we have three classes here. We have house, person, and mortgage. So, this is a mortgage system. Okay, wait, let me find my... Okay. So, this is a mortgage system. So, next slide, please. Okay. So, there are some rules to follow for a person to have a mortgage. So, first, a person may have a mortgage on a house only if that house is owned by him or herself at hindi ng kanyang kapitbahay. Of course, kailangan sa kanya yung bahay. And pangalawa, the start date for any mortgage must be before the end date. So, ganun naman talaga, di ba? Pag nagbabayad tayo ng mortgage sa bahay, dapat before siya nung due date natin. Okay, next slide. Okay, so another rule is kailangan yung social security number of all persons must be unique. And another rule, a new mortgage will be allowed only when the person's income is sufficient. So, di ba meron namang um, mga companies na kailangan muna ng parang proof of, what do you call this? Yung parang kung saan makikita yung income mo para bigyan ka nila ng mortgage. So, another is, a new mortgage will be allowed only when the counter value of the house is sufficient. So, next slide. So here, we're gonna see the OCL version of those rules. So first, yung context natin is mortgage. So kailangan, yung first OCL expression na yan, sinasabi niya na if for you to have a mortgage, kailangan sa'yo yung bahay or ikaw yung owner or ikaw mismo yung kukuha ng mortgage. And pangalawa naman, ito yung sa end date and yung start date kung kailan ka magbabayad. So parang ganyan yung equivalent niya into an OCL expression. Ayan. So here, on the next slide naman, okay. Ito naman is yung security number. So kailangan daw unique. Ayan naman yung binibigay niyang OCL expression. By the way, yung OCL expression can be done in software. Hindi siya manual. Just like what we did sa UML, Eclipse and other software also has an integration of OCL. Okay. So next naman is yung Yung monthly salary naman, yung tinitingnan nating constraint, kailangan yung monthly salary ng kukuha ng mortgage is enough. Oh, okay. Sige. Is enough for that mortgage. So ayun, and then yung counter value naman would be yan yung nandun sa pinakahuli. Yung counter value must be sufficient. So yun, by just looking at the diagram alone, hindi natin alam yung rules na yon, or hindi natin agad masasabi na kailangan pala muna may sufficient salary siya to pay the mortgage. So kung titingnan lang yung visual part, it's a good visual pero it's not enough. Tsaka one thing pa pala na nagagawa din or na-revolutionize din ng OCL is the ability to transform. 'Di ba we make prototypes out of models. So, pag models lang yung ita-transform mo into prototypes, it's not enough. You still need to adjust sa codes later on. Pero kapag meron ka ng OCL, mas precise or mas alam ng generator mo kung ano ba talaga yung mga constraints na kailangan para ma-meet or mag-run yung system. So, yan. So, yun yung importance ng OCL. So, ito naman yung example ng mga uses or kailan ba natin gagamitin or paano natin gagamitin yung OCL. So, I have here sa slide yung isang system called Royal and Loyal System. So, yan yung gagamitin natin throughout the example. So, just to explain, next slide. Ayan. Thank you. So, yung R&L system. So, let's just dissect kung ano ba yung ginagawa ng R&L system. So, first, yung central class natin is yung loyalty program. And next, the company that offers its customers membership in a loyalty program is called program partner. So, another class yon. And then, the objects of class customer represent persons who have entered the programs. And then the membership card represented by the class customer card is issued to one person. Okay. Yan. Sige, next slide. Oh, okay na pala. Yung four program partners. So ito naman yung mga program partners. So, for example, yung mga benefits na makukuha ng isang membership or ng isang member ng loyalty program na yon. So, example, ito, sa supermarket, the customer can use bonus points to purchase items. So, the customer earns bonus points for any regular purchase over the amount of $25. So next, yung sa gas station naman, yung magiging offer naman ng gas station for the members is yung discount. So 5% on every purchase. Dito naman, sa car rental naman, o-offer naman siya ng bigger car for the same price. For yung kapalit nun is yung 20 bonus points for every $100 spent. So customers can save bonus points for free flights. Ito naman sa airlines naman for free flight. Pero for every flight that is paid for, normally the airline offers yun. Normally nag-o-offer yung airline ng bonus point for each 15 miles of flight. So yan naman yung mga kailangang or mga benefits na makukuha ng isang membership holder. So next. Ayan, meron kasi tayong dalawang membership cards dun sa Royal and Loyal system. So meron tayong gold card and meron tayong silver card. So, para yung silver card, yung parang pinaka-default pag nag-member kayo. Pero pag nag-gold card na, meron siyang extra benefits. So, for example, yung every 2 months, the supermarket offers an item that is completely free. So, the average value of item is $25. So, yun maging benefit niya sa supermarket. Pag sa gas station naman, meron siyang offer discount of 30% on every purchase. Sa car rental naman, service offers, ito muna pala, baliktad pala. Ito pala yung sa larger car, tas kanina doon is 20 bonus points. And then sa airline naman, offers its gold card customers a business class seat for the economy class price. So, yun yung mga benefits ng gold card. So, para naman makakuha ng gold card yung isang member. So, in-explain ko lang para later alam natin yung context nung system. Next slide, please. Okay. So, para makakuha yung isang customer ng gold card, so kailangan may ano siya, naka 3 years na siya of membership with an average annual turnover of $5,000. Tapos, meron din siyang uh, 1 year of membership with a turnover of $15,000. So, where the turnover is the total turnover with all program partners. So, it's either 3 years na siya na may $5,000 spent or 1 year with $15,000 spent. Okay. So, for this system to work, kailangan natin mag-assign ng initial values and derivation rules. So, when we say initial values, yun yung kailangan na magsimula siya. So, for example, for the initial value, pag nag-enroll yung isang participant or isang prospective member, meron siyang initial value na 0 points. And then, kapag naman, ibig sabihin, ang magiging result naman nun or magiging derivation is mag-equal siya sa true. Ibig sabihin, may customer card na siya. And then, yung another example of derivation rule naman is, yung for example, itong sa name, yan yung sa third context. So, customer card, printed name. So ito, kanina 'di ba nabanggit ko na yung OCL gumagamit ng types and operations. So dito, in-apply yung sa string na part. So for example, yung owner title, i-concatenate siya dun sa owner name. For example, yung title natin 'di ba, Miss, Mr. and Mrs. Mr. or Miss Bravo. So, yon example of derivation rule. Next. So, ito naman yung query operations. So, ito sa loyalty program. For example naman, di ba, syempre may database to na lahat ng records ng mga members ay nakalagay doon, pati yung lahat ng participating program partners. So, yung participating program partners natin is yung supermarket, yung gas station, yung car rental, at saka yung airlines. So, kaya kailangan nating mag-set din ng queries. For example, pag maghahanap ng services, ano-ano ba yung mga services na kayang i-offer? So, for example, pumunta ako sa gas station and hindi pa ako aware kung ano magiging benefit ko. So, pag in-insert yung card ko, kailangan mag-run siya na made-deliver yung specific service na available dun sa program partner na yon. And ito, meron dyang, gumamit siya ng body na if statement. So, ito naman, yung bina-validate naman niya kung yung partners ba na yon ay included or included ba yung specific na supermarket or gas station na yon dun sa loyalty program para makapag-avail siya ng services or magre-return siya ng empty or ibig sabihin hindi kasali, walang available na perks pag ginamit yung card na yon or hindi sila participating. Next. So, defining new attributes and operations. So, dito naman, another OCL notation is yung turnover naman. Kasi 'di ba meron kasing dalawang types of transaction na nagaganap dito sa royal and loyal system. Una, yung nag-earn ng points yung members, and pangalawa, nagbo-burn naman sila ng points or ginagamit nila yung points nila. So, here is yung every transaction nila and yung amount para ma-compute dun sa database kung ilan na ba yung na-accumulate nilang amount of points or ilan na ba yung na-burn nilang points. Ito, yung def kasi stands for definition. So, for example, yung context dito, yung class na loyalty program, get services by level. So, ito namang constraint na to, nagdi-deal naman siya. Sinasabi niya na for every, di ba meron tayong perks ng silver and meron tayong perks ng gold. Eh, hindi naman siya na explicitly stated dun sa UML. So, using this OCL expression, sinasabi niya na every level, for example, gold, ibig sabihin matitrace siya sa database na ito pala yung gold, ito yung kaya niyang, or ito yung pwede namin offer for gold members. So, ayun siya. Yan, ito. Invariants. So, itong invariants is a constraint that should be true for an object during its complete lifetime. So, invariant often represent rules that should hold for the real-life objects after which the software objects are modeled. So, invariants, actually, this is one of the biggest parts of OCL or pinaka malaking part talaga ng OCL kasi, di ba, we uses loop, we uses, or we use, what do you call this, mga if statements or conditional statements. So, we have to identify yung invariants or kailan ba siya magiging totoo. Okay, next. So here are some examples of invariants. So first, invariants on attributes. So we have here yung class natin is customer. So itong condition na to must always be true para makakuha siya ng membership card. So ibig sabihin yung age ng customer must be greater than or equal to 18. Ibig sabihin yung 17 and below cannot get a membership card. Next. So, ito naman yung the type of the attribute class. So, sa customer card naman, ito another way lang of expressing yung constraint na kailangan 18 and above yung customer. Next. Okay. Ito, okay. Next slide na lang. Nagkamali lang yata ako dyan. Ito, association classes. Okay. Ito naman. Yung association classes naman, wait. Okay. So, di ba yung classes natin are all associated na nasa class diagram. So, ito naman, pinapakita niya yung ano-ano ba yung mga what do you call this, services na pwedeng offer doon sa specific member na yon. So, for example, all current na gold membership ay makakuha ng larger car for the same amount of price na doon sa smaller car. So, ayun. And also, yung membership naman, ito, another example din ng invariant. Of course, kailangan magkaroon ng correct card or yung customer na yon ay kailangan meron siyang membership card na valid or as in na member talaga dun sa loyalty program na yon. Okay, next. Ito naman, enumerations naman in OCL, ginagamit naman siya for things na, yun, merong values under it. So, for example, ito, ini-enumerate niya lang yung memberships. So, di ba, meron tayong silver and gold. So, another example naman ng enumerations, for example, yung class na direction. Ano ba yung pwede maging enumeration ng class na direction? Di ba, merong vertical and horizontal. So, yun naman yung example na yun. Ginagamit naman siya sa, nakita ko din yun sa book, na yung example kasi sa book is about Scrabble. So, yun din. Pwede rin siyang gamitin doon. Next. Ayan. So, ito yung binabagit ko kanina, yung about collections. Okay. So, let's differentiate each type of collection. So, for example, yung set, each element may occur only once. Ito yung pag nagko-compare tayo ng series, arrays. And then, bags naman, elements may be present more than once. On the other hand, yung sequence naman is a bag, pero in which the elements are ordered. While ordered sets is a set in which the elements are ordered. So, yun naman yung collections. Next. Ito, pre and post conditions. This is also important. Preconditions, yun naman yung expression that or yung condition that must be true para mag-execute yung system or mag-execute yung isang code or isang task. So, kailangan true siya before the execution. So, dyan sa example, yung precondition dyan ay okay. So, yung precondition dyan is kailangan walang points. Wala muna siyang points. And then, yung post condition is magkakaroon na siya ng points equal to 0 and up. And another then is yung another post condition naman is yung sa age, 'di ba? Kasi every year, syempre nagbo-birthday tayo. So, para ma-update yung system, yun, gagamit tayo ng post condition. Yung tinatawag diyan yung age equals age at pre. Yan, pre. Ibig sabihin yung age niya before or parang a year before. So, yun yung ini-imply nung expression na yan. Next. Okay. So, inheritance. Ayan, di ba kasi meron tayong mga classes na ini-inherit niya yung properties nung specific class na yon. So, here, yung program partner niya, so, ini-inherit niya, di ba, yung mga properties ng loyalty program na 'di ba nandun din lahat ng points na accumulate yung data ng customer kung ilan na yung na-earn and na-burn yung points. So, in this way, mas malinaw dun sa titingin nung system or nung diagram na may OCL notation na kung ano ba yung total number of points na na-accumulate na niya. And dito is less than 10,000 yung ini-imply ng expression na yan. Okay. Actually, this is my last slide. Pero to summarize everything, basically, OCL is a good addition to UML for us to understand or para mas mag-make sense pa more yung ating UML kasi visual doesn't cut it or hindi niya mako-convey lahat ng mga gusto nating sabihin. That's why OCL is important. So, yun lang po. If I miss anything, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much again. To sum up, no, the discussions of our presenters, no, the object constraint language or the OCL started as a complement of the UML notations with the goal to overcome the limitations of UML, no, and in general, no, any graphical notation. So in terms of precisely specifying detailed aspect of the system design, so since then, no, OCL has become a key component of any model-driven engineering or the MDE, no, technique as the default language for expressing all kinds of meta model query, no, manipulation and specification requirements, no. So among any other application, OCL is frequently used to express model transformation as part of the source and target patterns of transformation rules. So well-formedness, no, rules as part of the templates as the way to express the generations or the cogeneration template, no. So actually, the presenters, no, provide a comprehensive view of the OCL language and its many applications available to support, as well as the latest research development and open challenges around it. So I think that's it. And congratulations to the presenter.